The time has come to pay my dues to the YouTube algorithm. There's these news stories that come out, I don't know, every few weeks or so about video games, and I thought, hey, why don't I talk about some of those? We got subscribers and views we gotta get, right? So here we are, just over a year later from Stadia launching. Google Stadia, the streaming service for video games and video games, and things don't look too good. I don't want to joke too much about people losing their jobs, because a bunch of people sort of lost their jobs or they're being restructured, so that's not cool. Google Stadia seems like it's going down a weird path here. It's not dead. However, ever since it was announced, it was sort of in this like, ooh, pulling our collars here. I don't know about this whole Google Stadia thing, because they kind of have a history, and we'll get into that later. But so the big story for this week is Google Stadia shuts down internal studios, changing business focus. The company, being Google.com, is announcing the news today, though Kotaku began to hear rumblings from sources close to Stadia last week that Google's service was heading for a major change. One games industry source told Kotaku, I think that's Kotaku, that Google was canceling multiple projects, basically any games slated for release beyond a specific 2021 window, though they believed games close to release would still come out. So Google Stadia is not shutting down. That's not what this story is about. However, it's certainly not getting any better. This is the internal studios. They were responsible for making original games for Stadia. And basically the gist of this whole thing is Google is not going to be making games for Stadia, their gaming platform. Google will close its 2 game studios located in Montreal and Los Angeles. Neither had released any games yet. That closure will impact around 150 developers, one source familiar with Stadia operations said. That's not, that's not good. This is sort of a little history on the service. Google initially offered Stadia in a $129 Founders Edition bundle, which included a custom controller, a Chromecast Ultra used for streaming games from Google's servers to a TV, and 3 months of Stadia Pro, a subscription service that granted access to certain games. Google promoted some exciting features, including the ability to let players pass control of a live stream Stadia game on the fly and to share saved states of games, but many of them weren't available at launch and remained in testing phases. We'll get into that in a second here. This is from the horse's mouth, and by horse I mean Phil Harrison, the notoriously the famously successful guy who runs consoles into the ground. The horse's mouth being the Phil Harrison says, "It's clear that Stadia's technology has been proven and works at scale." That is true. From what I've read, from what I've seen, Stadia is a fairly, relatively, positively decent experience. In terms of like, it's not too laggy, not too bad. Having games streamed to any screen is the future of this industry, and will continue to invest in Stadia and its underlying platform to provide the best cloud game. Okay, we'll continue. That's the rough one. We'll continue to invest in Stadia and its underlying platform to provide the best cloud gaming experience for our partners in the gaming community. Okay, So they're focused on not their own games. Gotcha. They're gonna let other people use Stadia, which is very weird because Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, they all, make games. Sega made games for their consoles. I mean, it's very odd. It's a strange thing. Creating best-in-class games from the ground up takes many years and significant investment, and the cost is going up exponentially. Given our focus on building on the proven technology of Stadia as well as deepening our business partnerships, we've decided that we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team, SG&E, beyond any near-term planned games. So that's a roundabout way of saying this thing's expensive, y'all. This whole game development thing, we didn't really think about it too hard. We didn't really budget too good for this whole making games thing for our own platform. So no, there's not going to be any exclusive games on Stadia, which some might say is a big deal. Some people are saying that. Some people have said that is a big deal. What does this mean if you're a current or future Stadia gamer? You can continue playing all of your games on Stadia and Stadia Pro, and we'll continue to bring new titles from third parties to the platform. We're committed to the future of cloud gaming, and we'll continue to do our part to drive this industry forward. Okay. So what is Stadia? What do you get? We're here on the prestigious Stadia website. It might look different because I like dark mode on everything, but here we have some featured games here. Stadia Pro, what we got going on here is you get some free games. This is $10 a month, and you get free games with this, and maybe something else. I think you get discounts. You get discounts on games, and then you get to play free games, which I counted. If there's 5 in each row, it looks up to be about 30 games for $10 a month, and they add like a couple new games. Maybe they add, I don't know, but it's been how long has it been? A year? And then you go and you look at Xbox Game Pass, which is like, I am a huge fan of Game Pass on PC. It's the same price, and there's way more games. This is another aspect of Stadia that's just like not. It's no good, no bueno. Some might say no bueno. The main concern with Stadia, my main concern, and I'm sure many others' main concern, is the data usage. Here in the US of A, the great city of America, there are data caps. I cannot use more than 1.2 terabytes or something like that because of the Comcast. And there's not really any other options. I can't be like, oh, I'm going to use this one because it doesn't have data caps or whatever. So if you have a data cap, you're gonna run into some issues with Stadia because based on this is a VentureBeat article. They're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1080p 60. Okay, that's like baseline. This is how you should be playing this game. This is standard stuff here. They did a little test, duration 13 minutes. Total data used 1.55 gigabytes. 7 gigs an hour. That's certainly playing at 1080p 60. It will take you 335 gigabytes to beat the game. That's like a fourth of all of your internet. If you're running 4K on Stadia, you're hitting 20 gigs per hour. And they bring up the Xfinity 1 terabyte cap, so just about 50 hours of Stadia Just Stadia. That's just for your video games. You get 50 hours of Stadia, and then that will be all of your data if you're playing at 4K. Which brings us to, I guess, the next sort of reason why maybe they stopped making their own games. According to Market Watch, I don't know how, I don't know about this website, but it seems reasonable. I don't know. Doesn't seem too bad. Video games are a bigger industry than movies and North American sports combined. COVID-19 lockdowns expected to help global gaming sales rise 20% to nearly $180 billion in 2020. What I'm thinking is they saw that all of this growth was happening for video games. 20% increase. These companies are making tons of money despite, what else am I supposed to do? Seems like a lot of people are playing video games these days. So my guess is that Google saw that there was a huge boost in revenue for video games, and they didn't get any of that. They weren't really making any money. That's just like, that's about as simple as it gets. Hey, you know how this is a $180 billion market? Well, yeah, we're making about none of that. They don't even say anything about Stadia in this article. So that's There's also these features that Stadia promised but just aren't there, and it's been a year since it like officially came out. It's been a little over a year. I think it was November of 2019. So there's just like things that the service doesn't have that were touted as like big features. So let's see. Let's take a look. Here's one of them.
Imagine you are watching games on YouTube and you discover the latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey trailer on Ubisoft's official channel on YouTube. You will notice the Play Now button. By simply clicking on that button, the player is brought directly into the game in a browser in as quick as 5 seconds. With Stadia, this waiting game will be a thing of the past.
Okay, so can I actually, let's see if we can actually do that. I'm not seeing any YouTube videos that actually do this. Here's a demo. Here's a demo for Immortals Phoenix Rising. Free demo trailer, okay? Available on all platforms. Play for free, play the demo. Where's the Stadia link? Where's this? Look, it says Stadia here. Where's the Stadia link? I'm not seeing it here. I'm gonna click the demo here, and we're gonna immediately start playing Stadia. Buy now. I don't see a demo. So it's not exactly easy to to get these demos to start playing these games. I don't know. I would think if the game was available on Stadia, you could just instantly. That's weird. I wonder what happened there. Here's another one called State Share. I don't think this is a thing yet. I don't think you can actually do this.
Technology called State Share, developers can let a player instantly share a playable moment from a game. This could include the world state, the player's position, items they're carrying, anything the developer wants to pack into a shareable moment. This could be sent to one player, or it could be shared with thousands at the same time on YouTube, through email, apps, messaging, or wherever links can go.
What? You can just, it's like a save state that you can just send to somebody? So I looked around, and apparently there's maybe one game that actually does this.
Often when you're watching a stream, you find yourself wishing you could be in there playing alongside with your favorite creators. On traditional platforms, you'd have to fire up your console or your PC and just hope that you get matched up with them. However, with Stadia and a new feature called Crowd Play, you'll be able to simply click a button displayed right in the stream and jump in and play with YouTube creators that you're watching. The person watching can simply click the link and be placed into the lobby for the next game. And of course, YouTube creators will have full management capabilities over this feature.
There is another Stadia integration with YouTube that we're really excited about. When a player is stuck on a level or puzzle and desperately wants that next beat in the story or the breathtaking views in the next level, what do? Today, they have to leave the game, fire up YouTube, find the right video, scrub to the right part of that video, and watch how it's done. When the player gets stuck on a level, like me, instead of grabbing a laptop or a phone, they just need to push the button on the Stadia controller to get help from the Google Assistant. With Stadia, any link can be an access point to the game. Whether it's from our Stadia store, text messages, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Google search results, YouTube videos, Gmail, or from the Google Play Store, gamers are going to be able to find, discover, and enjoy your games anywhere they are, and easily share them with their friends.
Okay, so we were just sold a bill of goods, a bag of lies, if you will. Many people are calling it the biggest ruse to ever happen in technology history. A lot of promises that were not kept. We saw the ability to crowd play. You can just play a game with your favorite creator. Play NBA 2K with play alongside your favorite YouTube streamer. I don't believe this is a thing. It sounds cool. Like, all these things sound cool, and they're cool features. And if they actually do, like, make good on these features instead of making games, like, that's fine. That could be cool. All of these things sound cool, but what were they? I mean, what are they doing over there? It really makes you think, like, what are they doing? They're not making games anymore, that's for sure. And then we have like this thing where you can, like, oh, hey, Google Assistant, how do I beat this tomb? How do I beat this tomb? Really? You're just, I mean, I'm amazed that people, I guess I thought this was real. I don't know. I said, oh, Google's a pretty smart company. How do I beat this tomb? I guess through AI you could, like, have a video sort of match the same frames and stuff like that. Here's the top result. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. They just made a game streaming service, and they don't even have really these, like, integrations, right? Do they? They always have Ubisoft out here showing off the new consoles. Okay, this is the final part. Whoa, hold your horse, good sir from the past. This is Editing Chan from the future, here to tell you about the bow that ties all of this together before we get to the doomsday killed by Google. Look, fellas and ladies, there's competition in town. There's big competition. Huge competition. And that is the other tech company that exists, the one of the 3 or 4 companies that exist. Amazon has their own service. It's called Luna. It's not the best name. Neither is Stadia. They're not too savvy on the name thing, but here we go. Amazon Luna. Amazon's cloud gaming service, where it's easy to play great games on. Look, it's Stadia. Let's not be crazy here. I mean, this is just a fancy commercial for, like, oh, look, you can play games anywhere. I'm gonna run down the hall and play in my living. Oh, look, she's playing, and it is $6 a month, at least the introductory price. Unlimited hours of play, growing library of games, 1080p, 60 FPS, stream on 2 devices at one time. I thought you could stream on, like, a million devices. It looks like she was playing on quite a few at one time. You can do the Ubisoft Plus channel. They're going back to the Wii days where they have channels. This is the controller. Obviously, it's like, ooh, super lag free because it like you're interfacing with the cloud. So you get the point. It's you can stream to Twitch, but that's where I would like to start here. Okay, you can stream on YouTube, but as we'll talk about in a second, like YouTube gaming isn't really it's not really a brand anymore, and Twitch is a pretty powerful gaming brand. So it's obvious that Amazon cares about video games a bit more. That's number one. Number two, they are actually making games. The start of all of this talking about Stadia is that Google shut down their game creation places, their studio. Those are called studios. Those are called game studios. They closed down their game making studio, and Amazon hasn't. They've canceled Crucible. I think they made a game called Crucible. Got some MMO coming. It's called like A New World or something. Amazon is actually making games. They're actively doing so, and they will be coming out. That's like, well, I don't know why you would go with Stadia over Luna other than you're already hooked into the Stadia infrastructure. Also, I guess the third point would be that Amazon isn't quite as trigger happy as Google is. They tend to stick with their products at least for a little bit longer. It's not just that Stadia is the game streaming thing. They have competition. And with Xbox as well. The Game Pass streaming and just being able to stream Xbox games. Stadia is not the only game in town, so they better watch out. All right, on to the rest of the video that I recorded earlier. This is a site called killedbygoogle.com. Now, a lot of these things are small, right? But let's just chat for a second about, oh man, I forgot about that one. YouTube messages. You could direct message people on YouTube. I forgot about that. A lot of these things are small. You know, Google Swiffy, I don't know. But the thing about this is all of these things were used by at least some people, right? Google comes out with something and you're like, oh, cool. Google Songza. Free music streaming, whatever. It was 8 years old, right? There's so many of these things. Google Timecode. It was a thing for 11 years. whether you used it or not, it's still like they have so many of these like experiments basically. So the most notable ones that people probably care about or know about at least is Google Plus. Google Plus is one of those. So yeah, Google Plus closed down. I mean, whatever. It wasn't that popular. So they said, we've had enough of this. We'll close it down. Google Hangouts. Apparently Google Hangouts is not going to be a thing anymore. They're going to have Hangouts chat, which is a different thing. Apparently it's like a Slack clone. We had the Google Glass. Everyone knows about the Google Glass. No more Google Glass. It did cause it was kind of a weird controversial thing, like, oh, I'm just recording all the time and I can look up your Facebook profile on my face. It was odd, but it was still like a thing that some people were excited about, and some people put you have these people who invest like time and resources and development costs and money behind these Google projects. That's all they are. They're just Google projects. And then the Google goes, nah, we're done. We're good. It really makes you wonder like what Google even is other than the search engine and YouTube. Of course, we have YouTube gaming, which is a good, I guess it's a good analogous sort of thing to Stadia. It sort of just goes to show Google's lack of care, I guess, for gaming in general. YouTube Gaming standalone app to shut down in March 2019. YouTube Gaming used to be like its own sort of section on YouTube, and now I don't know what this is. Auto-generated. It's just kind of things tagged with gaming tags. It's not really a platform. They shut her down. So, anyways, Google has a bad track record for things. It's not pretty. So there you go, folks. Google's not making games, and I don't want to sound like a doomsday sort of guy. I don't want to sound like a bummer or a downer or anything like that. This is a channel brimming with positivity and success. But you would forgive me if I said that I don't believe in Stadia, right? Right? So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully it wasn't too long. You enjoyed your stay. You put it on in the background and listened to it and did something else, and you went, huh, you know, that Chan guy, he really knows his stuff. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. If you hate these kinds of videos, keep that to yourself, okay? Okay? This is a channel of positivity and fun. We won't be having any of that, sir. Bye. See you in the next one.